Hey everybody, welcome to Two Cops, One Donut. I'm your host, Sergeant Eric Levine. Before we get started, here's a quick disclaimer. The views and opinions you're about to hear are those of the hosts and guests alone. They don't represent any police department, agency, sponsor, or employer. Two Cops, One Donut isn't responsible for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice, and it's not tactical instruction, and it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all this. All right, now let's get into it.
All right, what's up? Two Cops, One Donut. I'm your host, Sergeant Eric Levine, here on a random impromptu live stream. Why? Because I'm off work, and I didn't have anything else going on, and this seems to be a hot button topic within my chat, and everybody's talking about it, about a guy I had never heard of until a couple days ago when I saw this video. And so I decided to let's discuss it. There seems to be a lot of misconceptions and whatnot about trespass and traffic stops and what can be done and all of that stuff. So here we are. I am sitting here drinking a little G4 tequila on the rock. It is the finest of Reposado. I got it from recommended by Tactical Tequila Podcast, if you guys know those guys. I am getting a mic check. Your mic defaulted again. God damn it. All right, give me 1 second. Switching my mic
over. Okay, we only went 2 minutes in. That should be the better mic. You were right. It was going to my camera. Sorry about that. Hopefully it's better. That's why you have great mods. My mods are letting me know in the chat. Hey, your mic sucks. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. How am I sounding now? Looking over looking over at Instagram Live. They're also telling me your audio is not working properly. I think we got it. Yep. Okay. I got the thumbs up from people. Way better. All right. This is what happens when you're a one-man show. Now, luckily my mods were on top of it and checking it out. I saw Deadleg say something. Twitchy Skitch said something. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. So back to where I was trying to discuss what's going on with Mr. Damon Darling in Walmart and enjoying this lovely tequila. Salud. If you didn't know, if your only impression of tequila has been like, the stuff that you drank in your senior year of high school, barfing everywhere, in the military, whatever it is, there are sipping tequilas out there. I am a bourbon fan. I love bourbon. Everybody's heard me say on here for the last 5 years, Smoke Wagon is one of my favorite, probably my top favorite bourbon. It is the best bourbon in the world. Check them guys out. But Andy Fletcher's in the house. Wade Lucero. What's going on, guys? We do have some famous community members. I'm learning. I learned our guy is a pretty famous mod for a lot of good channels. Andy and Wade, I heard, are pretty big voices in the cop accountability world. And it is very humbling to have some of these voices out there that actually advocate and help out our channel quite a bit for when the trolls come in and they do it without, kissing the ring. They're able to talk some sense into people, so I don't have to start from scratch. And that is very humbling, and I really do notice it, guys. So I thank you very much for doing that. So my mom's on. What's up, Mom? Looking over at Instagram and TikTok Live. Just a reminder, if you are on any of those channels, please move over to our YouTube channel. You will have a much better chance of me seeing your comments. I do try to see everybody's. I do my best to keep up. But yeah, it's just for whatever reason. White Mike over on TikTok. No, I am not retired. So for those that don't know me, and if you've never seen me, I am a current police officer. I've been a cop about 20 years. I am also a military cop. I am still in the military. Don't let the beard fool you. I do have to shave this once a year when I go do my 24 days. I am a reservist, which means I'm attached to an active duty unit. I'm not in a traditional reserve unit. So when I go do my time, I don't have to do the 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks out of the year. I schedule all my time at once. Usually in March is when I like to do it. And so that's how that works. Cajun Viking, how do you feel about freedom of travel? It's great, but if you're going to be in a motor vehicle on a public roadway, you need to have a license, registration, and proof of insurance. That's how I feel about that. It's not how I feel. That's just the law. That's fact. And there's no legal precedent that says traveling in a vehicle is commerce or whatever sovereign citizen mumbo jumbo you want to come up with. It's not a thing. Matter of fact, judges that used to be entertained by these arguments and wanted to kind of hear what people had to say about it, 10 years ago, their patience is completely gone because it just too many people have been trying to say that stuff, and it doesn't work in court, guys. The only time any of that stuff works in court is when the judge no PCs the stop, which has nothing to do with the I was traveling, or it is the cop doesn't show up. That's the only time that stuff works. If he misses the court date. So Wade said our guy is everywhere. He is everywhere. But yeah, I was just schooled about our guy. I didn't realize that he was like royalty amongst some of the cop accountability pages. He was a good guy that had very good things to say, and I always thought he had great points, and so I would call out his comments all the time when I see him. K Palm said, definitely an interesting case. I hadn't heard of this guy until I saw your shot earlier today. Yeah, I hadn't heard of him either. Apparently, he used to do a bunch of pranks and stuff inside Walmarts and stuff. But then he also, man, my microphone is really bugging me. I keep hearing a lot of hard, like it's popping on me. That's okay. Stop it. Anyway, yeah, I hadn't heard about him. I guess he went from pranking to like doing good deeds. So that's really good. I'm glad that he did that. I'm glad he did that changeover. But that's not what was going on in this video. He was going to try to, some people will call it bless people. He was trying to bless people. Cajun Viking, how do you feel about, oh, he already said that. He goes, Constitution before law. Yeah, Constitution, for sure. For sure. But again, traveling is not a thing. If it was, your car wouldn't say drive. It would say travel. Put your car into travel. You got park, reverse, then drive, not park, reverse, then travel. So it's a terrible argument. It doesn't work. So you're in the minority in that. If you weren't, then the law would be changed and cops' practices would be changed, but it's not. So is what it is. And besides, don't make your argument with me. It's stupid. Your job is not to argue with me. My job is just to enforce the law as it is, and your job is to argue it in court. Argue it in court. Your guys' favorite thing to do is to try and make a cop look dumb because he doesn't know the law. Cop's not a lawyer. Cops don't know the law like a lawyer would know the law. Cops know elements of the law. They know the Reader's Digest version, so they can develop PC or show that there is not PC. K-Palm said, so wait, he used to do pranks in Walmart, so was he already trespassed? Apparently he was not. He was not already trespassed. So let me pull up the video and we will discuss. I gotta find it. It was Damon Darling. I'll just type in Damon Darling banned from Walmart. Let's see if we can. Nope, I don't want to show that one. Let me just see if I can find Damon Darling's video. There we go. Let's see his video. Just give me 1 second, guys. You guys know how this goes when you're on a live. You got to operate everything. I am just going through, trying to find. Here we go. All right, let me share the screen. All right. So this is essentially how I found this video. This is how I saw it.
All right, so you guys are both going to get issued trespass warnings from Walmart, okay? You guys are no longer allowed to go to any Walmarts, any Sam's Clubs, or any Murphy gas station for life, okay? So that is a life ban from Walmart.
Who's issuing that?
What?
Who's issuing that?
Walmart is. So
what? What'd we do?
That's any private business can. I didn't go to Walmart. I just came and.
Well, they can't just do it for no reason.
Yes, I can.
Even if we're not there.
They don't have to have a reason.
But I don't.
Well, can I appeal that?
What?
Can I appeal that?
You can call corporate. Yeah.
I'm definitely appealing that.
That's.
I'm gonna give it to my lawyer. Have a good day,
fine.
buddy.
You as well.
All right. So that was the traffic stop that I saw. Now one of the questions that Darling asked is, can they trespass him? So let's discuss the law on that. Walmart, Target, it doesn't matter what store it is. They can trespass anybody for any reason or no reason at all. They can just say, I want that guy trespassed. And he gets trespassed. That's how it works. You can trespass anybody you want from your business. They have that right. So legally speaking, yes, he's allowed to do that. However, where I have an hang up on this, and this is how I explained it in the video. There's a part in there where the manager, he talks to the manager and is like, hey, you don't care if we're in here, right? And she's like, no. And he's like, you know who we are, right? And she's like, yeah, I love your videos. So the manager that I saw was a female, and she said it was okay. So somewhere in between that, a representative from Walmart somewhere had called the police and said that they want him gone. I don't think it was that female manager. I think it was somebody else. I just don't know who. But either way, any employee, of Walmart can essentially represent Walmart. Now, the manager should be the top representative, unless there's somebody there that's higher than her. But they can issue that criminal trespass, and it is that. What's up, Butler? I see Butler Aaron over there. He said, "What's up, Sargento? Living the dream, brother." So yes, you can issue the manager can make that call. I don't think the manager you see in the video is the one that made that call. I think it's somebody else. I just don't think I've seen the full video. Where my hang up is, it has nothing to do with whether or not they should or should not put a trespass on him. My hang up is, when was he told he couldn't be there and by who? And then when did the cops make contact? So this is why this matters to me. For criminal trespass, some of you may have seen my video from earlier, but I'll refresh you. So for a trespass, we're going to use Walmart for an example. You show up to Walmart, and then all of a sudden, the manager comes over and they're like, you got to go. I don't want you here. They have to afford you the ability to leave. They can't lock the doors. Let's say they called the cops, and the cops arrive. The cops just happen to be right around the corner as they're telling you, you got to go. And the cops show up. My job as a cop is to investigate and see what's going on. So I'm going to go to the complaining party, which is going to be the Walmart, and say, hey, what's going on? We told him he's got to leave. Okay, well, he's leaving. We don't want him to come back here anymore. Okay, but he's leaving. You're affording him to leave. If they tell me we want him criminally trespassed, that means I got to go issue this guy a trespass warning. A trespass warning is civil. It's called a criminal trespass warning. And that throws people off because they hear the word criminal and they automatically think that criminal trespass means that it's illegal and it's a crime. It's not yet. It's a civil issue between the two. So police, we have these forms, these criminal trespass warning forms, and it's got a bunch of information spots to fill out. And this is where cops screw up a lot. They think they have the right to ID somebody. So they'll ask you, hey, well, they don't want you here anymore. We're going to trespass you. I need your ID. You don't have to ID on that. It's not a crime. There's no reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. It is simply a civil issue. And if they don't want to give you your name, they don't have to give it. And that throws a lot of cops off. And I've had cops try to argue with me on this point. It is not a crime yet. The crime occurs, the actual real crime that you can be arrested for is when you're told to leave and you refuse. So you just saw the video with Long Island Audit. He was being criminally trespass warning and he was continuously leaving. And as you've seen, the cops overstep, they arrest him. And guess what? That case got dismissed because you can clearly see in his video, he continuously moved. He was in a constant state of leaving the property. You may not like how fast somebody does it, but as long as they continuously leave, they're fulfilling their duties to get off property. So, with that said, I like Project 1868. Hit that like button. Yeah, help me out, guys. If you guys like the content we do, it doesn't have to cost you any money. You don't have to give us money. Just hit the like and follow button. Share us if you're already doing that. That really does help us out. But yeah, on the criminal trespass side, if you don't leave after you've been told, then you can be arrested. Now, here is where this is the big hang up for me on this case. Okay. Let me adjust my seat here. Stick with me on this one. I get excited about this stuff. So the cop is not a representative of Walmart. So I want you to picture if this were to go to court. During a criminal trespass warning, and this is how I've always been taught. I have to have, let's say, a Walmart representative there. I got to tell them, like, hey, buddy, look at me in the eyes. Like, you're not allowed here anymore, but they have to tell you. So they're going to come over here and tell you, manager, come over here. Tell them what you need to tell them. You're not allowed, and the manager going to go, you're not allowed on the property anymore. Okay. Criminal trespass warning fulfilled. Because a representative did it. Now, here's the hang up I have on this case. This cop pulled his truck over off-site, no longer on private property. For what? There was no traffic offense. So you've already, in my opinion, violated his Fourth Amendment rights. You seized him. You turned your red and blues on. That is a seizure. You have stopped him. He had to comply to your red and blues on a public roadway. Now he's pulled over. You've got no traffic offense, and you're coming up to issue a criminal trespass warning without Walmart there. So in my opinion, and I'm not a lawyer, but in my opinion, that is null and void. That doesn't even count because Walmart didn't tell him. When you go to court, let's say he goes back to Walmart. And then he gets arrested for violating the criminal trespass warning. And then he's going to go to court. If he's got a good defense attorney, the defense attorney is going to go, who told you couldn't go back to Walmart? Well, that officer did. Did Walmart tell you that? No. Okay, officer such and such. Are you a legal representative of Walmart? Are you an employee? No. Are you? Is there any MOU stating that you represent them and you can speak on their behalf? No. Okay, well, they told me I could. Well, that's hearsay. See where I'm going with this? So now you've got a representative that wasn't there. A criminal trespass warning. You became Walmart's little lackey and pulled over a vehicle illegally and then gave a bogus criminal trespass warning because you didn't have a representative there and you're acting on behalf of them as their representative. Unless you've got an MOU signed, I don't see that flying. Now, again, not a lawyer, don't know. And shout out to the Legal Beef. Legal Beef actually chimed in on this on our Instagram account. So thank you very much, Legal Beef. I do see that there's a lot of people over on Instagram chatting. I'm sorry I don't see your comments as much. Please jump over to our YouTube channel, Two Cops, One Donut. Get in the chat over there. Mar Fugel TV. I would love to show your video about Walmart situation on my news broadcast with your permission. I would love to interview you about most interesting cases and stories. You have full permission to share it. Go ahead, buddy. You got me on record. You can share it. As far as being on your show, I got to check you out first. I do my homework. I don't know I just don't go willy nilly on anybody's show. I want to know what I'm getting into, but yeah, I got to figure out what your show is called and all that good stuff. But I appreciate it. Big John Nugget said Walmart sales are plummeting. Cops can't enforce civil if they try it. Tell them it's against your general orders to give legal advice. Exactly. So how am I watching too much YouTube? I'm retyping all of that on YouTube. Sorry. Sorry. Eve, bro. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming over to the YouTube. That definitely helps us out. So over on TikTok, Stone Cold said the cop had to go off of something, right? He should have. The best bet that he would have had was to find a traffic offense, like speeding, didn't use a turn signal 100 feet prior, didn't come to a complete stop before the sidewalk, any of that. But I didn't see that. And I didn't know apparently Murphy's must be owned by Walmart, because he also trespassed him from Murphy's gas station. Now, the other thing to consider is, can they globally trespass? That's what we call it in the biz, in the police biz. We call it globally trespassing, meaning he ain't just trespass from that Walmart, it's trespass from all Walmarts. Yeah, they can do that. As far as I know, again, not a lawyer, but from my understanding, yes, it's their business. As long as it's owned by one entity, I don't know if you can franchise out a Walmart. I guess that would be different. Meaning like somebody bought a Walmart and they just pay like a stipend to Walmart as like a shareholder. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a business guy. It's like that. So yeah, this is the hang up. This is the rub. This traffic stop, it smells. It stinks. It's got Fourth Amendment violation all over it, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm looking over at the comment section. I see Mark Fugel. I think it would be a bigger deal if the original viral video gave more context. They just assume everybody knows who they are. Once I made the connection, I was flabbergasted. Mark Fire said, what state did this happen in? I think Ohio. I think, from what I gather, I think it's Ohio. But yeah, man, it's Eve Bro said, I went back on Instagram. He said, cops will ask for ID for anything, thinking they are entitled to it, so they will push the issue. It's 2026. How is it that we, the people, know our rights over someone who swore to uphold them? Yeah, that is a problem. It's why we call it ID crack. And what's up, Cody High Roller in the house? See him out there. Guys, make sure you check out Cody High Roller's channel too. He does some First Amendment auditing and some other stuff on there, and you may even find a classic hit of Eric Levine being audited. I don't think he fully audited me because he was like, "This guy's too awesome." Ain't that right, Cody? He knows I'm messing with him. Let me see what else. Ario's in the house. He said, "What's up?" Ohio is hard on everything. Yeah. Freeman Keys in the house. Devil's advocate. Wade's coming in with a devil's advocate. At least it was for something nefarious. Yeah. And that's the big rub with a lot of people, is that apparently this Damon Darling does a lot of good. He may not have in the past. I don't know. Again, I don't think I'd ever heard of him until today. I may have seen his stuff and just didn't realize it's the same guy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But I can tell you right now, in that video, I didn't see him do anything wrong. He was told to leave, allegedly. He left. He was off-site. Nothing in that satisfies criminal trespass warning because he was gone. Again, you can trespass anybody while they're still on property, but you can't do it once they leave. And as a cop, Walmart can, if they know his name and they know where to get a hold of him at, they can do certified mail and send him that trespass in the mail. But other than that, Jason Garling said he's a comedian. Okay. I've never seen him do any stand-up, so I don't know what type of comedian he is. Wade said, I watch Cody's channel every day. Hell yeah. There you go, Cody. You got a fan right here. What's your take on the gloves ICE is getting with the electronic shock? I've actually felt those. I've had them done to me at the International Association of Chiefs of Police. They work. I will say that. Them motherfuckers work. They will put you to the ground. It doesn't hurt you. I mean, it's hard to describe. It doesn't hurt you, but it hurts you. Physically, you'll be fine. But it's like being tased. Like, shit sucks for a second until it lets up. But I don't care if it's ICE using it or if it's regular police. If it stops them from shooting somebody, wouldn't you say that's better? As long as it's not like torture? I'm just looking at it rationally, y'all. Like the question is using it reasonable? That's what I bring everything back to. If they go to use it, did they use it at a reasonable time? If I say, hey, turn around, put your hands behind your back, and you turn around, put your hands behind your back, and then I come up with taser gloves and put you on the ground with taser gloves, that's a problem. That's not reasonable. You were following commands. But if I'm like, get on the ground, and you're not getting on the ground, I go hands on, you're not going to the ground, and then all of a sudden I go to taser gloves, and you go right to the ground, and then we cuff you up, and I don't have to hit you, I don't have to shoot you, I don't have to do anything. I think that's reasonable. Now, the question's going to be, there's a big difference between taser gloves and a taser. A taser is for distance. Gloves, you have to get up close. And if there's one thing I've learned about a lot of cops, they don't like getting close. There's a lot of scaredy cats out there that have very poor control tactics training or defensive tactics training. So now you're asking these cops to get close to people. I think some of them may get punched in the mouth. So we'll see. I could be wrong. How are the gloves controlled? Do they zap anything that's touched? The way there's like some sort of engagement mechanism on the glove itself, but I'm not 100%. Mags got on here and said, they are scared to go hands on. See, there's other cops on here. They know these youngsters are. Not all of them. I've seen some bout it young officers out there, and I love that. I would rather see a cop, and you guys tell me, I would rather see a cop that wants to go hands-on versus relying on their Batman belt. I would much rather see that. I know it doesn't look as good. Perception is a thing, but it's actually safer. It's actually safer. Jerry, we got Jerry in the house. Jerry Worms. He said command presence has a lot to do with it. So definitely true. And I would agree that your command you guys know how laid back and chill I am on this show. That's how I am in real life all the time. Like the way that I talk on here is usually how I talk to people in the streets too. When I was in patrol. Nobody really tried to test me. I'm not a big guy. I just think it's the way I present myself. I don't know. And it takes emotional intelligence. It takes a confidence without being arrogant. I think all of that stuff makes a big difference. So
Lawful Acts said people will likely pull away, creating more perceived resistance. The thing is, when it was used on me, there was no pulling away like I'm resisting. It just took me to the ground. It's hard to explain without feeling it yourself. Like, there was no like doing this. I tried. I just went to the ground because that's the direction they put me. I would have went any direction they told me to go. Let me restate that. I would have went any direction they made me go. If they would have pulled me backwards, I would have went backwards. Luckily they just went straight down to the knees, and that's where I went. So that shit worked. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you guys think of the gloves? I don't hear anybody saying anything negative or positive. But yeah, I'm taking a picture of the live stream. Somebody tried to call me. I'm letting them know, like, I'm on a live stream. Sorry. Jacqueline or Jocelyn, I'm sorry. Jocelyn Gibbs said, 2 cops, 1 donut. My brother, Preston, starts Seminole State College Monday for criminal justice. Hell yeah. Just let them remember. Don't let that degree go to their head if they become a cop, because your degree is not going to teach you how to be a good cop. But tell them to pay extra attention to constitutional law. Tell them to pay attention to that class. That's important. Most of these young officers have none. That's from Dan. You're not wrong. Oath Keeper. When they put you on the ground, were you already in handcuffs? No. Gloves always mean they're going to go hands on. The gloves are to protect their knuckles, and they beat the crap out of you. Maybe. I don't think so. I wore gloves, but mine didn't. I'll give a shout out to 221B Tactical. My gloves didn't have any. It's just, they look like mechanics gloves. They didn't have anything protecting the knuckles or anything like that. It's just cloth. Because for me, I just want there to be a barrier between them, because a lot of people you're checking out, they're nasty, gross. So I just needed something that could still feel in case there was guns, dope, needles. But I didn't want to use my bare skin in case there was dope, needles, and stuff like that. So, Oath Keeper, there are no good cops. Cool. Then why are you here? There's no good cops. Apparently there's one, because you spend an awful lot of time commenting on my channel. So, but what is Cody saying? They're making it to where you don't have to pass the bar exam to practice law. Really? That's a thing? Jason Garling, amen, brother. Appreciate you. Girl with a camera, 143 says, I feel like they recruit cops straight out of high school. Easier to brain wash them, I guess. I think that's what she was trying to say. You know what? We've talked about this before, but I don't think you should be a cop. I don't think you should be a cop until you're 25 or older. If I had really had, if they were like, Levine, you get to decide, I would say 30. But I know that's not realistic. It's not realistic. Constitutionality said, a cop that preaches constitutionality. OMG, I have stumbled upon a unicorn. Thank you. Look, constitutionally. I don't know how to pronounce it. That is one of the most undertaught things to cops, and cops are supposedly supposed to have sworn an oath to the Constitution. I have cops on here regularly, and I ask them the same question every time. Other than the academy, when's the last time you touched any constitutional law training? And they all say the same thing. None at all. They'll get case law updates. That's normal, which usually touches on some constitutional things, but no constitutional training. That is one of the big gaps right now that we're trying to fix with the show. Keep bringing that up and let people know that, like, hey, you're lacking. This has to be an annual training. Oathkeeper said, you don't even have to go to law school to take the bar exam in California. And I believe Wyoming and a few other states. Really? I never heard of that. Of course, I'm not out there trying to take the bar. So Wade's getting old. Kids these days, they're soft. I just picture Wade looking like what the hell's his name? Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn. Some of the pictures Izzo posts of these new officers looks like they just graduated elementary school. Yeah, I've seen them. Now, I'm not going to go, because I'm telling you guys, I've rolled against some people that look like, okay, I'll even preface this. I have been wrapped up in jiu-jitsu by people that were between 14 and 18 years old. So don't let their appearance fool you. But you're right. They do look awfully young to be a cop. K-Palm said, Eric, have you had a chance to see the latest video of Lackluster about the prosecutor's investigator that was arrested for DUI in New Jersey? I have not. This is the sad part, unfortunately, about being a content creator. You have so little time to truly watch and appreciate other people's content. Southern Draw Law and me, we talk about that kind of regularly on the phone, because I'll put something out and he'll get tagged in my stuff. And then he'll just happen to catch a glance and he's like, oh yeah, let me hit Levine up and talk to him about that. And we'll bullshit back and forth. And he'll be like, did you see the one I did of this? And I'm like, no, nobody tagged me in it. And he's like, oh man, yeah, that's a good one. So he'll share it with me, but we'll have that conversation back and forth that we never get to see other people's content because we're so busy trying to create our own. It is what it is. I just hope what we're putting out there is making a difference. I think it is. But you guys know me. Free said, Eric, just send them your TCOD for Science Constitutional Policing class. I know, exactly. We do got to get that going. In a street fight, who would win? You or Detective Matt Thornton? More than likely me. I would have to watch out because Matt's a better boxer. So if Matt caught me trying to get in on him, I would be done. The problem for him is once I get a hold of him, his boxing's not going to help him out. And he knows that. And I'm a lot younger because he's old as fuck. So, ain't that right, Maddie? I hope he's watching. You old son of a bitch. Mr. Billfold finally joins us, graces us with his presence. What's going on, Mr. B? They should continually educate on laws. Yeah, they do. And this is the other thing, guys. Like, I hold police accountable. We do, at least at larger departments. I can't speak for all departments, but larger departments, we are constantly being updated with law. It's happening a lot, more than you think. But how do you make somebody retain something they don't want to learn? There's some. I just had this discussion the other day where an officer that works at the same department as another officer, and that department is trained amazing, great constitutional First Amendment auditing training. They have great training. And this officer, I could quiz them, hit them up. What's all the 5 elements of the First Amendment? What's the Third Amendment? Like, the tricky ones, tell me about the 4th. I could do that to them and they would be good because they have really good training at their department. But one of their officers went viral not too long ago screwing up First Amendment. And what's the first thing everybody does? That cop sucks. That department's terrible. That's not true. That department has amazing training, but that cop sucked. And now it throws people for a loop. Who do they blame? That officer. That officer didn't pay attention, did just enough to get through the class and fake it till they made it. That's part of the problem. So when you guys hear me say training is the root cause of most of these issues, that's why. Because there could be a department that has great training, but something is lacking that's not holding the accountability for retention. And then you got to find out what that is. So it's an endless cycle. Jocelyn said, is it the same for Texas as it is here, age-wise? 21 to join the academy or to go to cleat in Oklahoma? Yes. You can actually join the academy as long as you will turn 21 by the time you graduate. That's the rule. Can PD go get our ambulance back? They did get it. They did recover it. I just don't know if it's back to where you're at yet. I don't want to dox where I work, but there was an ambulance issue today. Looking at the comments, your buddies with James White. He's my hero and adorable as fuck. Yeah, James White is a buddy of mine. Love him to pieces. Great guy. What do you think should happen to the police chief in Florida that wrecked his squad and they also found a bottle of vodka in the car where he was drunk? He should go to prison. He should go to prison. He should lose his license. And he should be made an example amongst the town square. Shame. Ding, 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 ding. Shame. Ding, 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 ding. That's what they should do. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My Game of Thrones nerds. Anybody see the new Random Patriot video about the welfare check? I did watch. I got through most of it. Then work came in. I got to the point, Mr. Billfold, where the supervisor got there and was listening to the story from the people that live there. But that's as far as I got. But I did see him cuff this guy up for no fucking reason other than telling him to get off his property. I saw that part. Let me see here. Let's go to another video, shall we? Let me pull it up. We'll go back. Home. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta find my own channel here. View your channel. And we will talk about my latest video on if cops deserve harsher punishment. Okay. Let me rewind this and share the screen. All right. Now, people ask me if this guy's a cop. I learned that he's a realtor. He's not a cop. He may have been a cop in the past. I don't know. I didn't find anything to say that he was. But he likes police and he tries to talk about it. So here you go.
I don't think police officers should be held to a higher standard when it comes to the criminal justice system.
Well, I do, especially when their authority is used to commit a crime. I think the punishment should be worse, and I'm a cop. But first, watch all this, and I'll explain why.
Let's say a consensual fight occurs. Road rage, 2 guys going at it, one of them's an off-duty cop. I don't think it's fair that that person automatically gets criminally charged because of the higher standard he's supposed to be setting because of what he does for employment. There's already that higher standard in place. There's the IAO, the OPCC, even their own professional standards section, which will do independent investigations of each other, which last for months, even sometimes years. Punishments already include dismissal, loss of wages, loss of rank. You can be reassigned. There's all kinds of punishments that are existing in place. That higher standard is already enforced. There's no other job that faces 3 different levels of investigation for something that happened when you weren't working, when you didn't put yourself on duty, when you didn't even tell anybody that you were a police officer. The criminal justice system is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to be leveled based on what you do for employment. And it's no wonder that departments are having a hard time recruiting good candidates to do one of our most important jobs in society.
All right. If you're wondering what I thought about that, you're about to find out. I completely disagreed with him. I have made it very well known on this channel several times over that we deserve double the punishment. We are in a position of authority granted to us by the state, the government, whatever you want to call it. And we have the power to take your freedom away, and there's nothing, for the most part, you can do about it. That is an amazingly scary and awesome power. If you abuse that, you deserve double the punishment. You deserve to be the higher standard. That's not just because you're investigated 3 different ways from Sunday doesn't mean shit if nothing happens from it. And more often than not, that's the case amongst cops. Nothing happens, or very light. The punishment, air quotes for those that listen to this later, the punishment is never equivalent to the crime or figuratively speaking, whatever they did wrong, whether it's administrative or it is criminal. So Bearded Tim over there on TikToks. What's up, Tim? So I have a problem with what he's saying. Now, I appreciate it as a cop, and he makes some great points. He's not wrong. When we are off duty, we still get put through the ringer. But I think that's what you accept when you decide to be a peace officer. Because what do we tell people as cops? We're never truly off duty 24/7. And you get some high-speed motherfuckers out there that are always looking for stuff while they're off duty. Best believe your ass they're going to say that they're a cop. Best believe your ass. A lot of them, when they get pulled over for speeding off duty, they're gonna badge that cop. So yeah, I agree that cops, when they're off duty, get put through the ringer as they should be. But what do y'all think? I know how most of you guys would probably think, but I'm just curious, what's your arguments for or against that? Constitutionality said, damn, if you need your boots licked clean, you know who to call. Oh, come on. It ain't that serious. This is why I brought up Lackluster Video. I know you're very busy, but this guy in New Jersey got treated with some kid gloves. Yeah, I don't doubt. In Lackluster, I've wanted to get him on the show forever. I think he puts out amazing product. So, I just, the accountability side of things, man, I'm just a big advocate for accountability. Going through a lot of accountability stuff right now myself. Not that I'm not under investigation. I'm just saying we're dealing with accountability as a topic for police tech right now. Which brings up another great topic. I know you motherfuckers are chomping at the bit to talk about license plate readers and flock and accountability and stuff like that. So feel free. If that's a topic you want to talk about, don't be afraid to hit up some of them super chats and let me know how much you appreciate those conversations. Because a lot of y'all don't know that that's my expertise. If I were to go to court, they would consider me a subject matter expert on this topic. Simply because of what I do. If you guys don't know what the National Real-Time Crime Center Association is, you should probably look that up. That is it's basically a national organization designed to help police departments understand the tech that is out there, what they have, and how to use it properly. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create accountability amongst all of these very powerful technologies that are out there. It's not my call whether or not they're allowed to be used or not. They are or are not allowed to be used. So if that's not my call, then my job is to make sure that the checks and balances and accountability is there. So that's really what I'm working on. What Dan say? Dan said, I've seen an officer not badge and pulled over, but pushed back on the questions any officer gives him with a bunch of shit for not answering questions, and then gave him a rash of shit because he was cool. Counterculture in the house. What's going on, Counter? They make national do not hire lists too. Oh my God. You guys missed this conversation on our post today. Somehow we got on the topic of a national do not hire list. And my argument is that that's not a thing that exists. How do I know? I made a video. Well, I did a shit ton of research and cross-checked with background investigators and all of this stuff on how we stop these Ronin cops from going department to department. You guys may have seen that gray area episode that I did. Because it hovered around the Sonia Massey case, because that officer that shot and killed Sonia Massey, he was one of them Ronin cops. He had been to like 6 departments in 4 years. Well, if there was in my opinion, if there was a legitimate, air quotes again, national do not hire list, he would have been on that motherfucker. But one does not exist. So we got on this big long rant of that, and I'm trying to get the person that said it does exist to say it, and all they would say is it exists with no proof. And I'm like, just because you say so, and this was another cop saying so. So it's like, dude. Anyway, I digress. I did offer him to come on the show if they want to talk about it. But I'm just looking at the talks here. I think flock access should be under the same rules as sieges and cell tower dumps, accounting and balances against intrusion. Well, you may not know this, but flock is sieges compliant. So that's one of the ways that we use them. There's no actual PII in those. So what I mean by that, there's some famous videos going around of people hacking into a flock camera. They gained access to the video feed, but they did not gain access to that data. And that's an important distinction. Now, some of y'all are going to, oh, yes, they did. They said they did. I can't prove it to you. I don't have a way to prove it to you. I can just tell you what I know and doing the job. And if they did hack it, I would let you know. But yeah, they got into the data. They didn't. How do I know? Because the camera doesn't have access to the data. That's not where the data is accessed from. It's from that camera. It's not in there. It's not how that works. That information has to go back and then verify information through a server at our department, because it's verifying info through our department's data. I know that's not going to put anybody's mind at ease. I can tell you that these cameras don't, the flock ones, they're not tracking any Bluetooth. They're not looking in your vehicles. They're just tracking the license plate, the make and model of the car, the color. If there's like a weird bumper sticker that stands out, it can see that. It really is just operating like an Excel sheet would. That's an Excel spreadsheet. That's really how it acts, except it's created this graphical user interface for it. That's how it fucking works. But Flock, I'm going to give Flock credit. Here's why I'm going to give them credit. Accountability. They have created, and I don't know how well this is known yet. I think it happened about 4 months ago. They created an auditing system to help hold police departments accountable for their own people so they don't abuse this shit. And that is why you're seeing so many cops in the news getting fired and charged, because this auditing tool that Flock created is revolutionary. It is holding cops accountable. I love it. This is why I like the technology side so much. Yes, it can be invasive, but at the same time, the more powerful that tech, the easier it is to hold cops accountable. Guys are always wanting to get rid of bad cops. You guys are saying police the police. It's hard to do. This tool makes it easy. Please don't let me lose that. It works better than any tool to hold cops accountable than I've ever seen in my 20 years. And that's no bullshit. That is not me just trying to hold on to LPRs. Now, Flock just released a new update today. 7-day retention. They dropped it from 30 to 7 days. So that's another victory. I think that's them trying not to overstep. What's up, Steve Wallace? I just saw your comment, buddy. I always like to say hi to you. So what's up, Steve? So that is, Wade, are you speaking for Texas, or is all Flock the same system? Flock's the same across the board. So 7-day retention, they dropped it down. They are truly making strides to fix any of the concerns. So I love that. And you guys know me. I'll call out bad when I see it. But if I see good, I'm going to call that out too. This is good. This is what you want. You want people that say, okay, we hear you. Okay, maybe we didn't handle it the best at the beginning. I think that's fair to say. They didn't handle it the best at the beginning. But now they're fixing it. They're making it right. It may be because it was affecting their pocketbooks. Who gives a shit? I don't care what their motives is to fix it. I just care that we can fix it. And like I said, this new tool that they have, this AI auditing system, is the best tool that exists to help hold police accountable. This is why you see it going across the internet of cop fired here, cop arrested here. Look at Atlanta. I think Atlanta's had like 50 police officers fired and charged. So that is what you want. That's what you want. Mr. Bill, sorry, I spilled Kool-Aid on the carpet, Mom. Too funny. But what happens when the data sent by the flock camera is verified in the wrong way. Okay, I'm glad you brought that question up, Oathkeeper. There seems to be a misconception that the flock data, okay, I want you guys to understand how this works, okay? Let's say license plate 123 ABC. I'm at my department and this car is stolen and it's car 123 or ABC 123. That's easier for me to say. All right, so here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to go to you. That's your car. All right, tell me what your car is. It's a white Ford F-150. It's got a big bumper sticker on the back window that says "Live in La Vida Loca." Okay, cool. What's the license plate? It's ABC 123. It's a Texas plate. Okay, cool. I put all that information in. What's the VIN number? Obviously, I need the VIN number. Okay, here's the VIN number. Cool. And now I'm going to go to NCIC, which is the national database. I'm going to say, hey, here is an official sworn affidavit of a stolen vehicle that the owner signed. So there's no mistake. This person said their car was in fact stolen. That data is going to get into NCIC. At the same time, now, when that sheet officer is doing the report, he's going to get into Flock and say, hey, we got a new stolen vehicle. And he's going to put all that information in there. He's going to say it's license plate this. And it's going to have the make, model, and all that stuff with it. Okay, and then we set it and forget it. We're not checking it. We're not doing anything because Flock is going to let us know that a car passed by a camera when it reads that plate. So let's say a white Dodge Ram passes by Flock and it's ABC 124 and it hits from my stolen truck. My job, that's not Flock's fault. That's not their fault. My job as the cop, this is why we need accountability and best practices. My job as the cop is to go, okay, let me go find the truck. All right, it's right there. There's a white truck right in front of me. I need to verify that plate matches my alert. And when I look at the alert, it's going to say ABC 123. And I'm going to look at that truck and see it says ABC 124. It's already done. Oh, that doesn't match. It's not even close. That's one layer. This is how it's supposed to go. That's one layer. So that's the system getting the alert wrong. The information input is not wrong. So, okay, let's say it hits on a ABC 123 and it is a Ford F-150. My job is still, I can't pull that truck over immediately. I have to visually verify. All right, yep, that plate matches that hit on Flock. Can I pull it over now because they match? No, I can't. I got to run it through NCIC. I got to do the official check. So now I go into NCIC and I type in plate ABC 123. Information comes back up and it says, yep, it's currently stolen. Okay, now does the plate match? Yep, plate match. Does the make and model match? That's a white Ford F-150. Cool. That's what I need. Now I can make contact. Now I can pull that car over. Where you're seeing cops mess up is they're just going off of the Flock hit. And they're pulling these cars over. They're not verifying. They're not doing their due diligence. They're not following protocols. Some of them don't even have that protocol because they just got a technology and they're like, let's fucking run with it. And that's the problem. And Flock's getting the heat for that. And I don't think that's fair to them. Do you think that's fair to them? The system's doing what it's told. And their training, their stuff that Flock puts out and has always put out, by the way, is that this is not a 100% smoking gun. Like facial recognition. Flock doesn't have facial recognition on their LPRs. But I'm saying like facial recognition, you should never arrest based solely off facial recognition. You should have to investigate and find out other means to verify that person's identity. Facial rec should never be a sole proprietor for arrest. That is just a tool to show you, hey, you might be on the right track, but you need to investigate more. That's how Flock works. Hey, you might be on the right track, but you got to investigate more. And these cops aren't doing that. And they're fucking things up. So, and there's been other cases where the plate matches. The plate's right. The state was wrong. So that they pulled the car over because the numbers all matched up, but they didn't look at the state. Or the vehicle looked identical, but it was a stolen license plate. Bad guys will do this. They'll go to a parking lot in their bad guy car, knowing that they go and break into stuff, and they'll look for a same make and model. So they'll be like, oh, I drive a white F-150. Let me go find another white F-150. And they'll steal the license plate off of that F-150 and put it on their truck when they go and hit licks. And now, if there is a camera in the area or somebody's like, yeah, it was that Ford F-150 breaking and stuff, there's their license plate. Now that stolen plate gets entered in. And that plate is the one that's going to get possibly pulled over. So again, it's on police to do their due diligence, to make sure they're doing it right. And they're not doing it. They're the ones screwing up. Cops are at fault, not the tool. It's not the tool screwing up. So, yeah. Humberto said, very important, confirm the state of the plate. Seen a guy confuse Arkansas with Arizona. See, exactly what I was just fucking talking about. Ario, damn, Eric laying down the truth. I'll ask an unasked question. Which politician has money invested into what company? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't do that shit. I don't get that deep into it. Looking over at TikTok. I've seen videos where they point cameras at parks and windows in houses. That's bullshit. Listen, guys, a flock camera is not recording video. It's capturing screenshots. So for those that think that it's sitting there filming you in your pool, they don't even operate that way. It's horse shit. The ones that you got to worry about, they're not an LPR. They're a different type of camera. So you got to know there's differences in these cameras. If we're talking about LPRs, I promise you, nobody's pointing them at your pool. If they were, somebody pointed it that way just to mess around and take a picture. Because it's not what they do. It's not the point of them. They just take screenshots. Captures the front, it'll capture the front of a car or the rear of a car, depending on where they're at. So, yeah, pulling a line from Ice Cube. Follow the money, follow the source. Find the source. Yeah, exactly. Loaf Bread said, what happens if Walmart is the pharmacy for medications by his insurance? Doesn't matter. Can't go. You're going to have to send a proxy or something. If you're trespassed, you're trespassed. You don't have a right to go to a pharmacy. That's how that criminal trespass stuff works, y'all. It's funny how many people think that the businesses are in the wrong for being able to trespass people. Nobody cares when it's a mom and pop shop, but if it's a major company, people get pissed. But if it's, Dan and Joanne's fabric store and they do the same thing, nobody cares. But it's Walmart, so right away it's evil. In this case, I don't see why they would. I don't see why they did it. I think they're going to pay for it for sure. But in general, I'm saying most people, they do not take the side of the big business. But when it's a small business, everybody's on the small business side. How long does it take for them to read the flock camera to identify where it's at? Or do they have to dig and find each one? Can you clarify that question, Cody? I'm not sure what you mean. How long does it take for them to read that flock camera? I mean, if you pass by, if we're talking about how long does the camera take to read your car, it's a matter of passing by. It takes a second. Bam, it's got it. So it takes a snapshot and that data is sent up. The delay in that data transfer is seconds. It's not long. And then that data is processed and compared to that wanted list, essentially. If your car is not wanted in any criminal investigation, it is not, no alerts pop up. The only time they do is if it happened to read wrong, which happens. But again, if you have the right protocols, you don't got to worry about it. Again, years we've had it and we haven't pulled over the wrong vehicle because we have the protocols in place. Sorry, I'm looking over at TikTok. I see Chad Kane said something. I'm looking for his comment because Tim's pointing it out. I don't even see it. Sorry, Tim. I don't see his comment. My bad. Does Flock send the RTCC any alerts that a vehicle was spotted, or how is the notification sent out? Is it an AI that sends to human that sends to the units? Oh, okay. So essentially the way that'll work is you'll get a tone, an alarm tone on your computer if you're at a computer and you've got your Flock system open. So let's say ABC 123 is that stolen vehicle and it passes by one of our cameras. I'll get a tone and that will pop up and I'll click on it. Basically, it'll show like a little picture of the car and a little picture of the license plate. And so I can't see anybody in it. It's like a, it's hard to see in the camera, but it's like, here's a camera and the car is like driving past it, And so you'll see a picture of that car. And I'll pull that up and then it'll have all the information right there. It'll say, this is the car. Here's what it's associated with. It's this case number. And here's what's going on. It's a stolen vehicle. Okay, cool. What I do as a real-time crime center person, since I'm not in a patrol car, I'm not going to go out and try to find it. I'm going to verify it. This is why having crime centers are so nice. I can save a patrol officer from making that mistake. So now me as a real-time crime center operator, I'm going to see that license plate and I'm going to type it into NCIC and look and go, let's say it's no longer stolen. I'm going to remove it from Flock right away and get on the radio and say, anybody that saw that Flock activation on 1st and Main, disregard. That's an old plate. It wasn't removed from the system. So I just saved any unit from making that mistake. That's our job as a real-time crime center. Or I verify and say, yes, that car is still currently stolen. Hey, all units in the area, and I'll look on the mapping system and see cars 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hey, cars 1, 2, 3, and 4 by 1st and Main, stolen vehicle. This tag is going southbound on Main. It just passed 2nd Street. Any unit's going to respond, and then they'll start heading that way. And they'll set up a sheet. And I'll tell them, and I'll even put it on their computer and tell them, we verified. The plate still shows to be stolen. Visually confirm. So they're still not going off of our word. They're going to get up there and they're going to look at that license plate and they're going to confirm. It's an overlap. Make sense? I hope I answered your question. I love these questions. See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys are asking questions that I actually get to answer. Fuck the Gov said, so I found the Flock data for the local police department. 28% of the time, there is 0 reasons why they are accessing the camera. And that goes into accountability for using the cameras. Now, when you say they access the camera, what does that mean exactly? Because you don't just access a Flock camera. It's just like, you don't just access it unless there's, okay, I guess I kind of see what you're saying. They're just getting on it and they're not listing a reason for looking. I don't know what the problem with that would be. So hold on 1 second. Yes, sir. I'm not. What's up, buddy? All right. All right, brother. Bye. Sorry about that. It was work related, so I had to answer it. Anyway. Yeah, so if they're accessing the camera, usually you want to list a reason, but if the camera is on the corner of 1st and Main, how is that any different than the cop standing on that corner? He doesn't have to call out and say, hey, I'm staring at the corner of 1st and Main, does he? So Freeman, these ads are killing me. I don't know. Listen, I don't know how to fix that, brother. I don't know how to fix that. I'm sorry. I apologize for the ads, but I don't know how to fix that. I don't know. It's just YouTube as far as I know. Mike J said, can you pew someone for breaking into your car or stealing your property at home? It depends on the state you're in. In the state of Texas, if they're breaking into your car at night and you feel reasonably that you can't get your property back and that's the only way to get it, then yeah, you can defend it. I am not a lawyer and I am not giving you advice on what to do. But if you're in California, I think you actually have to help them break into your car and you have to help them get your belongings. I think that's how that works in California. So, Osmond said, good show. Keep up the good work. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. They called Eric and told him not to tell us some stuff. Love it. Love it. Eric, in your opinion, how large a city or county, like population wise, need to be justified for having a real-time crime center? Oh man, that is hard. I think any department could benefit from a real-time crime center. I think any. I don't care what size it is. It's just a matter of dedicating the bodies to it. Because all you need for a crime center is a computer and a radio. I mean, if we're going to be honest, that's how you can get started. Dead Lake said, where are the ads? I'll make them go away. Cody. Good one on California. Mike J over on TikTok goes, I understand. Too funny. How long is criminal trespass good for Renito over on Instagram? Criminal trespass, historically speaking, for what I know, I was told a year. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I was told a year. I could be wrong. I think it's a year. I heard it's actually indefinitely. It can be forever. That's what I was told, but I'm not 100% on that. Unk alert. just bearded Tim throwing an unk alert at me. My bad. Listen, guys, this show, we put a lot into this. I try to give you guys bonus episodes like this one. For those that don't know, that are new, I don't do episodes on, Thursday nights. Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's when I do these shows regularly. We usually talk about videos that we've put out. We talk about whatever our special guest is for that day. And we get to you guys' comments. So if you like what we're doing, please join our Discord. Please hit us up on Buy Me a Coffee. Help us out. This is not free. This is not, I am a current cop and I have been supporting this show out of my own pocket for 5 years. I have spent over $100,000 doing this for 5 years, all to try to bridge the gap and bring you guys real information while holding cops accountable and showing the good that's out there. So I hope you guys appreciate what we're doing. If you can, and if you do, please let us know. Hook us up with a follow, a share, hit the like button for us. I like to take little breaks and really go back. There's so many people behind the scenes helping out too. Marine Blood, you can see his name across the screen right now. Just a Bearded Tim helps us out. Twitchy Skitch, I saw her on here. She helps us out. Mr. Billfold dropping. He does not have the money. Mr. Billfold, you better fucking quit. He just dropped 5 memberships. You son of a bitch. Of all the people. Dead Leg just got one of those memberships. Look at that. What are the odds? Thank you, Mr. Billfold. Appreciate that. Oathkeeper said, when the government surveys the people as police officers always do, why do they get pissed when the people record and surveil them? Because they're idiots. Oathkeeper, because they're fucking dumb. You know what I do when people record me? Hey. Come over here. The light's better. Guess what? I got a camera too. We're recording each other. Say something to the camera. I love cameras. I should be recording. But why do you get cops that still in 2026, Oathkeeper, I will give you this, sir. They're still bitching about cameras. It is insane. Insane. Craig Holcomb, dropping 5 memberships. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. We do try to keep this content going and beneficial to you. When you guys do decide to spend your hard-earned money on what we're doing, it really does show us that we're on the right path. Along with the follows and the shares and just the community that we have on our YouTube and through our Discord it's unmatched. I have not seen, you don't have to have millions of people to have a good community. We've got maybe 25,000 on YouTube, and I would put our community up against almost anybody's. I think Matt Thornton's probably kicked my ass, but because he's got such a great group. But yeah, Cody said, one thing I'll say that's good about Eric is he has a very good patience. Some of the stuff he has to deal with, I would have already reached the end of what I could tolerate. Fair. But yes, here's another one of our mods, Twitchy Skitch. I'm gonna give her a shout out right there. Our mods, they don't get paid, guys. They do this because they believe in the mission. I see Tim. Oh, Tim just dropped $5 on a super chat. I love it. And Tim, that's our TikTok guy. Tim gets more done on TikTok. I think between him and Nat, they do a lot on our TikTok. Our TikTok is finally growing, which is crazy. I've had TikTok just as long as I've had everything else. We've got about 500,000 followers across all platforms, but the majority of those are through Facebook and Instagram. So we're slowly building up on everything else. Marine Blood. Maybe someday Eric will stop repainting the TCOT mansion in his private jet every other week to toss us some pennies, right? I know. I sub and I'm his mom. Yeah, my mom, she bought me a computer, a laptop back when I first started for this. She subs, she helps out when she can. Love it. We do. We just have a great community. Oathkeeper, I'm hoping we're bringing you around because you're asking real questions now, and I love that. This is a momentous occasion for me, Oathkeeper, because this is what I live for. I love when I get somebody that trolls me and roasts me, and then all of a sudden I see him asking real questions. You're asking real questions, and I love this shit. What do you think about City Council in Frisco, Texas, removing public comments at their public meetings? That is a violation. Whoever's doing that should be held accountable. I think that's you're taking away people's First Amendment rights. So jail, prison. That's what I think. If you think I'm playing, I'm not playing. Some think that's harsh. Again, higher standard. If you're going to be a public office, if you're going to be in the public office, and I'm not saying blame the dude that they've got in charge of their social media, not that guy, the person that made the decision. Twitchy Skitch, member for 10 months. That's one of our awesome mods. So yeah, Oathkeeper, they deserve prison. I put a video out not too long ago of a guy that clapped at the end of a speech for his fucking wife during a data center town hall meeting. And they arrested him. All those cops should be stripped of their qualified immunity, but more importantly, they should have recognized that they were being used as pawns for the city council that was telling them to get them out of there. All of them stripped their qualified immunity. It's crazy. Ryan's in the house. What's up, Ryan? Like, that is our job is as cops, is to stand up for the Constitution. If somebody tells me to remove somebody from a town hall meeting or whatever because they clapped and you're calling that a disruption, like, you need to look up Robert Rules of Order. I think that's what it's called. Doesn't qualify. And there's already Supreme Court rulings on what is considered a disruption. And guess what? Clapping in that instance for what happened does not qualify. So come at me. Marine said, side note to the mods, I am at work, so I'm limited here. Yeah, I won't say that out loud. In case his boss is listening, because I know his boss probably listens to us. I'm looking over at TikTok. But I'll be the get off my lawn type of guy. No cameras, and let's hash it out. I like it. I thought it was all about the expectation of privacy. I can see if someone is sitting and tracking vehicles. What's with the mosque in Texas? I don't do religion, brother. I don't know. Freedom of religion, First Amendment, is what it is. Until they do something criminal, I'm not really worried about it. Thank you, Eric, for siding with us on the Frisco, Texas. If I get public comments back on, I would be very proud of that accomplishment. And I've already requested to speak to the mayor and city council. Hell yeah, brother. Make it happen. My watch is telling me it's time to stand up. Suck it, watch, do what I want. Not the boss of me. Having told my command staff no many times, it gets easier when you know you're right. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a tactful way in everything, guys. You don't have to be an a-hole. But Nina in the house, she said, I'm here. Appreciate you. We really need our LEOs to be more self-aware. And that's one of the missions of what we're doing on the show. We're trying to make cops aware. The guy that I got into it earlier today with, he's a cop, and I called him out because he was trying to say that there's a do not hire list, the national do not hire list. And I said, there's no such thing. And if you're going to say there is, show me, support it with some evidence. And that's how I would treat anybody. Do you love Eric's crazy shirts? Get yours here. Yeah. Excuse me while I do my eye drops. No worries. But yeah, guys. Cody said, what's your thoughts on cops from other countries coming in for Class C violation patrols? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. What are your thoughts on cops from other countries coming in for Class C violation patrols? Cops from other countries shouldn't be doing anything over here. Are they trying to enforce their laws? Are you getting at the England saying they were going to come over here if you said something offensive on social media? Is that what you're talking about? They can get fucked. Cop, we haven't verified that statement like his other statement. Trust but verify. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, Eric, the correct answer to your watch is aye, sir. Love it. Looking at the comments across the way. Okay, we're good. We're good. We are doing well. Counties. Yeah. My bad. The tequila is good, guys. Counties. What are your thoughts on cops from other counties? If it depends. If they're a sheriff's department, I'm fine with it. If they're a city cop, no. County cops, I'm sorry. Yeah, county sheriffs and them, like, I'm okay with it. They're a slightly different breed. State police, they have the whole state. But a city cop, they have their city. What do you think about cross-section of cluster B personality disorder and positions of authority? That's probably the best question we've ever had on here. That is great. What do you think about the cross-section of cluster B personalities? And what? Cluster B personality disorder? I don't know. I don't know what cluster B personality disorder is. I'm looking it up though. So I'll let you know in a second. Cluster B personality disorders are DSM grouping for personality disorders generally associated with dramatic, highly emotional, impulsive, and erratic patterns of behavior and relationships. So you've got antisocial personality, borderline personality, histrionic personality, which is excessive emotional expression and strong pattern seeking attention, and narcissistic. I would say as long as you're aware of your disorder, it's manageable. I don't want to just get rid of a whole population of people, but at the same time, being in an authority position, I would say it's problematic. That's a great question. That is the best question we've ever had on here. Love it. Who said that one again? Constitutionally. I love it. That's a great one. I'll put it back up there. What do you think about the cross-section of cluster B personality disorder and position authority? Well, now that I know what that is, I would say it's kind of problematic if it's not under control. But yeah, my mom, narcissist. That's one of them. That's one of them. Marine blood. It may be the drink affecting him. That could be true. With that said, we're almost at an hour and a half. I'm going to cut it off at an hour and a half. Cause I need to have material for Sunday as well, guys. I had a guest lined up. I got to confirm with them to make sure that they're still going to be on. What kind of tequila? Umberto said G4 Reposado. Good stuff. I like it. It was recommended to me because it's an additive-free tequila. I'm learning my tequilas, and it's lovely. Eric, what are your thoughts on Izzo's idea about women in police? We disagree. Me and Izzo, we've talked about it. Izzo's been on the show before. I don't know if we talked about that topic on the show, but Izzo and I we disagree because I don't care, guy or girl. I need you to be able to do the job. And I've had females save my ass physically and with the tool belt. So shit, I had one guy, he was about to hit me from behind while I was on the ground with another dude. And the next thing I know, that guy goes flying past me. And I'm like, what the hell? Well, the female, Angie Mapes, I'm going to give her a shout out if she's ever listening. She did a Goldberg, or I'm sorry, not Goldberg, Shawn Michaels and threw the 2 feet and kicked his, like literally just jump kicked him to both feet and threw him across the way to stop the dude from blindsiding me with a sucker punch. And dude did awesome. That guy went flying. We got my guy cuffed up and then went and grabbed that guy. It happened very fast. I know that sounds super slow, but it happened really fast and was great. I've had other female officers do some great police work with me. Stuff I didn't even have to get in on, like Lindsay Stewart. She took a female that we were dealing with, a domestic, and that lady slapped her across the face. And the next thing I know, Lindsay's just grabs her, throws her to the ground, gets her cuffed up, and I'm holding the husband back. I didn't have to help. It was great. So yeah, K-Palm super kick. Yeah, exactly. Have you ever watched the channel Thin Blue Lies Audits? Yeah, he's been on the show, brother. Matter of fact, that was one of our more recent episodes. We had him on. Tequila makes your clothes fall off. Yeah. Love it. Looking over at the chats, trying to keep up over there on Instagram as well. Slow-mo didn't get triggered. Nope, did not get triggered. So no, I don't have a problem with female officers. I just care about capability. That's it. Be able to do the job. And have I seen females that can't? Yeah, but I've also seen dudes that can't. So do you think that a smaller and or less trained officer may be quicker to use a firearm in a situation? Analyst? Yes, 100%. 100%. Yes, they will. Or I should say, yes, they are. I shouldn't say they will. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will, but yes, 100%. If you're smaller in stature and you're going against a big dude, somebody bigger than you, you're more prone to use a higher use of force. Because you know physically it's not going to work. I'm the same way. If I go against somebody bigger than me, I'm likely not going to go hands-on. There's weight classes for a reason. Anybody that's been a part of a tournament or a boxing match or anything like that, or just sparring. I've sparred with guys bigger than me. There's a reason they have weight classes, y'all. Holy shit. Even when you block it, because I did boxing for like 3 years. Even when you block, like it rocks you. I promise. Used to be a lot of idiots where Eric used to work. I still work there, but tons of drunks too. When a brawl breaks out in the club and they all should cut off the music until the situation's handled. Yeah, I wish they would. A lot of times I can get them to do that, but every so often you can't. But yeah. My father always said, you never trust until you verify. I don't know, Tim. I have seen mostly Detective Rosie O'Donnell. What are you guys talking about? Most female cops are hot. Oh my God. What are you talking about? Everything's hot to Tim. So, yeah. No, keep the questions going. We're right at an hour and a half. So, unless I get another question here in the next minute or two, I am going to jump off, spend a little time with the wifey. She's got to work tomorrow too. I just told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to go jump on and do a live and talk about this topic. So Damon Darling, again, I think he was wrongly stopped. I think it was an unjustified, unlawful stop. I hope he does something about it. He got tagged a ton of times on the post. That'd be awesome if he responded to it. It would be awesome if we could get him on the show. So let him know. If he wants to be on this Sunday, we will boot whoever we have planned and he can jump on with us. But I have no connection to him, so I'm just gonna have to work on the old networking system. Are drunk people the most dangerous? Drunk people? No. Drunk people are. You got to remember too. I'm trained. I know how to fight. Drunk people to me are just worse fighter. Like if you fight against a drunk trained fighter, like they still suck. They're gonna whoop a non-trained person's ass, but no, drunk people aren't worse. They're harder to. Drunk people are harder to negotiate with, to use emotional intelligence and verbal judo on. So yeah, what's the subject for Sunday? I don't know. We don't have one yet. I don't have a topic. Daniel Shaver is making rounds on X again. Any thoughts? I know that name, but I can't figure out what that is. Oh, big update that I don't know if you guys are aware of. The asshole that shot and killed Sonia Massey that got 20 years in prison. He has stage 4 cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer. He tried to do, I am knife handing. I apologize. I try not to knife hand at civilians. He's got stage 4 cancer. He tried to appeal to get like some sort of release. I don't know what they call the release that he was trying to get. And the judge said, no, fuck off and die. So he's going to die in prison soon, if he hasn't already. Cody said, well, good talking to you again, Eric. Keep up the good work. If you want to come speak at the city council meeting, we can go make a stand up there. Appreciate you, Cody. Can we get a podcast logo shirt? That would be cool. One of our mods is working on that. Nat, she's trying to make t-shirts. I told her if she makes them, I'll sell them on the site. Eric, any progress? I have not talked to Vaughn. He's in his court season, as he calls it. So he has been busy. I have not talked to Vaughn. I probably won't get to talk to Vaughn more till winter time when he slows down. If a fight breaks out in a bar near a Marine base, you should try shouting 0. It might help. If there was a national database, maybe that guy wouldn't have been hired. See? Exactly. Oh, Ryan said, great stream as always. I was very late, but enjoyed what I saw. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. It's not good tequila unless it has a worm. Oh, come on now. That's not necessarily true. But all right, guys, girls, whatever you identify as, thanks for listening and watching. I'm going to throw out a challenge. If anybody, I was told that I need to have like a, I don't even know what you call it. Like before the show starts, like I need to have a screen that just plays stuff or whatever 10 minutes before the show. And then I need to have an outro. So I guess it'd be an intro and an outro. I don't know how to make that stuff. If anybody out there is good at making intros and outros and wants to make one for us, let me know and get with my mods and we'll see what we can come up with. But that'd be great. K Palm, love the extra lives. Appreciate it. Mr. Bill Fold, he said, hola or aloha chat. Appreciate it, guys. Knife hands again. I know, yeah. Countdown lobby. Yeah, countdown lobby. Whatever you want to call it, guys. But I appreciate everybody. Thank you again for all the generous donations. Appreciate you. And we will see you on the next one, everybody. Good night.